So this guy made $400 on 2 postcards that he probably paid no less than $1 for both of them. Welcome to SMPostcards. Got a good video today. The special topics on funeral home postcards. Who knew? So when we get to that part of it, we'll talk about funeral home postcards, the sell-through rate, the pricing, and I think you'll be surprised on that. Some people have even come out and said, I never knew it was a thing. It's a thing. But before that, we're going to go through, I sold 23 cards overnight. So I'll do the what sold, get through that, and then with the right after the special topic of funeral home postcards, I went into my bucket, my folder, my email. I had 9 emails I saved for show and tell. So I'm cleaning most of it out. So if anybody said anything, I'm doing 9 of them. A lot of neat stuff in there. So when we get into that, it won't be a poll or anything. It'll be show and tell. A lot of neat, cool postcards and other things. And then at the end, I have viewer comments. Got about 5 viewer comments today. These are messages or emails, comments on YouTube that I just pull out here and there, and we talk about it. So you always want to stick around for that. But let's go ahead and get started with what's sold. Remember, I got kind of a bigger store, and I'll basically divide it back to Chrome, but I got other stuff. Gives you a good idea what's selling, and you see some neat postcards. But I thought I would do a little something different today. Is I wrote down on every card that sold the date I listed it, just to show you how long it takes sometimes for a postcard to sell. A lot of resellers that sell other stuff than postcards, if something's in their store for 60 days, they have sales on. If it's been there 60 days, they want to move their items. With collectibles and stuff like postcards, it's when people see it when they want it. It's a little different. It's hard to deal the normal marketing thing sometimes with collectibles like postcards. But you're going to see how long some of these have been in here. And they're just sitting on the shelf. They're not causing me any problems. But the first one that sold was listed in November of 2022. It's one of those naval covers. This one just says Navy, U.S. Navy on the postmark. It was 1945. And it has like a ship, the name and stuff on there. But it's not the best condition. But this sold for $475. It's to State Life Insurance Company. I got a bunch of these with an insurance company on it, but someone wanted this one for $475, and it was listed in November of 2022. Next one, this person bought 5 cards for $25.55, and I'll go through and show you when they sold. This one was listed in November 2023. I'll climb this fence if it takes me all night. It's like a drinking card. It's a humor card. It's kind of a artist sketch type thing. And it was posted in 1947, and it sold for $475. Next one is another comic, military one, and this was listed in August of 2023, last year. At ease, man, relax. He's doing something, not for sure, but it's just a military guy with a machine gun, and it's posted, linen card, $475. Next one's another humor comic card. It was listed in August 2023, and it's about the Japanese and comics and stuff like that, and it was 1943, linen card, and that sold for $475. What I find with comic cards and stuff, I don't list a lot of them anymore unless they're older. Because people, I found that they come in and they read them and they move on. They don't buy them. It's kind of what I expect. This comic card also sold August 2023, or listed August 2023. Something about hurry up, and there's a dog in it. Some military stuff. It was posted 1943. And if you notice, it says free. So that's what they call frank mail. When they're in war, the military was mail free. That one sold for $475, or basically $25.55 is what they all sold for. There's probably a volume discount in there, 15%, etc. And the last card this person bought was listed in July 2019. Yeah, 2019, July. Geez, that must be someplace. got some ghost or something in there. And that was posted in 1948. So they went through and picked out a lot of the comic cards from my store. But if you notice the dates on there, they're years ago that these were in there. Next one is was listed November 2022. Continental size, Roadrunner. It's a bird. Posted 1998. Someone liked Roadrunners. Now this one is a naval ship card, and USS Halibut. It's a submarine, and it was listed in October 2021 when I got all the ship cards. Semi-gloss front, matte back. There's the submarine, and that one sold $475. This one was listed February 2023, a year ago. The top house view of San Antonio, Texas. Chrome card. It looks like a white border, but it's a chrome card. 1982 it was posted. This is a chrome card. Even though it has a white border, it's not from the white border era. $475. Next one was listed August 2022. It's a sailboat, typical Nassau schooner, Bahamas. And this one, right there, $475. A lot of them were just $475 cards today. And here's Ronald Reagan. March 2021 is when this was listed. He's in Ireland. Chrome card unposted. Ronald Reagan, president. $475. Then I got a bunch of donkeys. These were listed. This card was listed in January 2022. It says lunchtime in the Southwest. So it's a little donkey feeding off mama donkey, or burro, or whatever they call these things. Unposted linen card, $475. Next one was listed in February 2024, a couple months ago. View of Main Street, Lewistown, Maine. Linen card, $475. Always call out the main streets. Next one was listed in March 2023, a year ago. Civic Club, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. This is a white border card. 1919, I think it is, when it was posted. But you can just tell the difference. $475. Next one was April 2023. So basically 1 year ago. And this is West Texas Mitre Peak, M-I-T-R-E, Peak. Just a mountain. $475. Next one's a real photo postcard, sold for $5.08. I probably sent an offer. This was posted or listed in May 2023. Just a couple in a carriage on there. And this is a Azo stamp with all triangles up. That's all it is. $5.08. Next one was listed in March 2024. I just listed this. New Boston City Hall Government Center, Boston. Chrome card, $475. Next one is the United States flag. Listed July 2022. Chrome card, just a flag. Flags on postcards. I did a video on flags on postcards. You might want to take a look at that. Next one, these political ones like this. This was listed in November 2023. Just different people, governors or people, Secretary of States. Alabama's unquestionable #1 team. Governor Lauren B. Wallace. Right there. $475. People buy these things. Next one was listed in March 2021. Cactuses. Roadway through the Seguros, the big cactuses. Posted in 1959. Chrome tower. $475. Next one was listed in November 2023. Now this is a reproduction. It looks like a reprint of a photo. It's not a real photo on there, so I only got $475 for it. But it's a stadium. But it says the person's name and photo, exterior view, but it's just like a chrome card. They just took a photo and made a chrome card out of it. And it's the Silver Stadium, Rochester Red Wings. on there, $4.75. And guess what? I must have listed a QSL card. And I think I know why I listed it, but I got $4.75 for it. It's got that gold color, it's older look on there, and I just probably liked it. And this was listed in September 2021. That's how long this thing sat. And I sold it for $4.75. And it was from Rock Island, Illinois. It's probably another thing that caught my eye is Rock Island, Illinois. And the last one came in right before the video. Thought I'd throw it in. It's a Navy ship, USS Pueblo, AGER-2. It's a publisher card. They bought these from a company that made those. And that's the little guy right there. Built in 1944. And that was $4.75, and that was back in 21 when I got those cards. But that was 23 postcards. And if you notice the listed dates, they're all way months ago or years ago. Didn't sell a lot of stuff I've been listing this year. A couple. That's long tail. Some of the stuff sits and then you sell it. So your investment, you can't have a lot of money tied up. You got to buy these cards right, is what I recommend to people. Sometimes you don't. The other day I spent a little bit more than I wanted to at an auction, but there were some nice cards, and I know I can definitely get my money back, but I had to pay up a little bit to get those. You just don't see some of those every day. But for those 23 cards, I got $124.78. And if you take $124.78 and divide it by 23, we'll give you your average sale price of $5.43. Up a little bit, still a side trend. I'm still hovering around $5.30, $5.40, around there is where it's going. So not too bad of a day. Sales have been up and down in the cellar, up at the top. It's been very bouncy and stuff, but I work at the trend. I only want to do $80 a day. I did that. I want to sell 16 cards a day. I did that for the year. I'm about 13, 14 cards, so I'm not far from it. And I'm definitely over $80 for the year, average a day in postcards. So I have a lot of room in that to play with, and my average sale price is going up. And I'm being very picky about buying postcards this year. I think I just sold another one. Yep. Chicago CA-14, USS Chicago CA-14, a Navy ship. Sold for $427. I think I sent an offer when it came up on there. And when I send offers, I set it for automatic, and I don't do counter offers. You send it out, I'd send it for 10%, and I go in there. Let eBay do the work. So I set it for automatic, 10%. That's what sold. Now we're going to get into funeral home postcards. Interesting topic, because a lot of people don't like to talk about things that will happen to everybody and what they do in funeral homes. Things just, they go in, they get buried, and the funeral's over with. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, but there's a lot of funeral homes out there. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of funeral homes, and then while I'm doing that, I'm going to show you some postcards with funeral homes advertising or funeral homes on them. And then we're going to get into sell-through rate and pricing. Here we go. Many years ago, when our great-great-grandparents were around, families took care of their deceased loved ones at home. They would wash the body, dress it in special clothes, and hold a simple ceremony in their own living rooms. However, as towns and cities grew, people needed a place to gather and say goodbye. This led to the rise of funeral homes, which are special places where families can hold memorial services for their departed relatives. In the 19th century, funeral homes became more common, especially in big cities. These places were equipped to handle all the necessary tasks associated with the funerals, such as embalming, which helps preserve the body and providing a space for mourners to gather. Funeral directors emerged as professionals who helped families plan and organize these services. This made it easier for people to focus on remembering their loved ones without worrying about the logistics. As time went on, funeral homes evolved even further. They began offering a variety of services, from creating personalized memorial ceremonies to providing grief support for the bereaved. Today, funeral homes play an important role in helping families navigate the difficult process of saying goodbye to someone they love. While the way we handle funerals has changed over the years, the goal remains the same: to honor and remember those who have passed away in a meaningful way. Funeral home advertising postcards have a rich history dating back to the late 19th century. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, funeral homes began utilizing postcards as a means of promoting their services and connecting with communities. These postcards often featured somber, tasteful designs, showcasing the funeral home's facilities, staff, and range of services. They served as a discreet yet effective way for funeral homes to reach out to grieving families and offer their support during difficult times. Over the years, the design and messaging... Oh, did I sell another one? They paid. Over the years, the design and messaging of funeral home advertising postcards evolved, reflecting changing cultural norms and approaches to mourning and remembrance. Today, these historical artifacts provide a glimpse into the evolution of funeral practices and the sensitivity with which funeral homes approach their clientele through visual communication. I got one fact here about funeral homes. In the 19th century Europe, it was a common practice for funeral homes to provide waiting mortuaries. Waiting mortuaries. These were facilities where the deceased were temporarily stored, and families would visit to ensure that their loved ones were truly deceased before burial. The fear of premature burial was so prevalent back then that some funeral homes even equipped these waiting mortuaries with bells connected to coffins, allowing the supposedly dead deceased to ring a bell for help if they woke up. Vampires? So that's a little history about funeral homes, and you saw some of the postcards. There's more than you think out there. Or some people, maybe this is what they collect that's watching this. But do funeral homes sell postcards? I usually go over this little chart here. There's 4 sections to it. The red, the sell-through rate's not that good. Not that they won't sell, they might. It's not scientific, that's why I use ranges. I work between the 4 and 10%, the average and high. That's what I always look for. And when I'm looking for those, I find the very high at the top. So the dark green is going to have a better chance of selling over the other ones, and all of them are going to have a better chance from data that we get sell over the low. Doesn't mean someone might not come in and buy that QSL card like they did today, so like that. This just gives you a guideline how to play the game when you go and look through a big white box of cards. You can't comp all the cards in a box at a show. You're tying up the booth and you're tying up your time. There's too many things to see. Take your best guess, a little bit of education on what sells and doesn't, and see if you got it. Then take them home and see what your winnings are. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win great, and most of the time it's going to be an average postcard. But how I do it is I just go out on eBay and I put in postcard funeral homes. Click on sold. 99 came up. There was only 99 sold of funeral homes. And then I took the sold and completed off, and I got 1,600 listed. So not a lot out there, less than I thought. 6% sell-through rate. Falls in the chart right in the middle of average. So it's an average card. But it really depends. Some can go high, as we're going to see. But what are the averages we'll see too in the pricing. But you need to bump that number up against other postcards with different, same type of postcard to a point. So I did it with these 4. Postcard mortuary. 7%. 6%, 7%, I'm okay. Funeral homes, 6%. Then I put postcard cemetery. 5%, still right there. And then postcard grave was 5%. So I think the 6% is in the ballpark, in the right range. It's an average card on the sell-through rate scale. A lot of things variables can affect it. This is just one thing to say this is an average card, so you don't want to pay more than average price for it because they are going to sit. Just like I talked about those ones, how long they sat that I sold. You're going to tie up your money if you pay big money for these. I always go out and try to find the extreme pricing. What's the top things these things are? I throw out the real high ones, and I throw out those 99-cent auction ones, and I look in the middle and I go a little higher. What's the highest watermark right now consistently happening on eBay in the last 90 days, and the last time that I looked through this? I found these 3. Even though sell-through rate said it's average, some of these can get more money, especially if something happened there People are looking for their town, their loved one passed away there. So you're working on a lot of emotions, a lot of nostalgia, and stuff like that with these cards. So you really need to pay attention when pricing these. But this first one is a circa 1930s, the 40s, Fred Anderson Funeral Home, Hearst, Detroit, Michigan, postcard. Cool looking card. $306. 3 bids in an auction. Just sold in March 27th of this year. That's a current price. Is there something about Anderson Funeral Home in Detroit, Michigan? Maybe there's something special there. Next one, same thing. It looks like the same seller, 1930, 1940, Fred Wood Funeral Home, Detroit, Michigan. Sold for $90, 5 bids. So this guy made $400 on 2 postcards that he probably paid no less than $1 for both of them. Probably. A linen card and a chrome card. Last one on the extreme, 1974. Ohio West Milton Roy Miller Funeral Homes, Green Hearst. 6x4 postcard. Took best offer, probably $60, $50 for it. Maybe paid it 25 cents for it, $1. So if you look in there, it's hard to say what these will go for because of all the emotions and nostalgia and stuff like that, and what you put on there for people to find. But that just gives you a snapshot of what the higher ones are going for. But let's get back down to earth, what we're going to find every day. You're going to find these bigger ones and higher priced ones as you go through and find your regular average ones, but most of the time you're going to find stuff like this. And it's still not bad. These 3 I found, and this is when I go down from the extreme and I go down to the everyday stuff that we're going to see. The first one was Birmingham Bradford's Funeral Home and Services Vintage Linen Advertising Postcard. It's a funeral home advertisement. Got $29. Not best offer or anything. Someone paid $29 for that card. Doesn't have a Hearst outside or whatever. They probably paid a buck or 2 for it. Next one is OK Rare. Oklahoma Rare? You get rid of the rare and the OK. Oklahoma postcard. Agent Funeral Home, Mortuary, Hearst, Ambulance. That's one of those keyword stuff things I talked about in another video. Not a bad looking card. It's got some stuff going on there. $25. In an auction, 1 bid. Again, auctions. I don't do auctions, but every time I see stuff like this, could I got more for my card if I put in an auction? You never know. I usually end up losing. And that looks like a linen card. Next one is $25 for L.A. Harp, Illinois, Radin Funeral Home, Main Street. Then they put lattice front porch and all. That takes away from the subject of the card. Lattice porch. Just put funeral home. That's what people are looking for when they see the card. Lattice porch. I don't think that did anything to help sell this card. Just more work. 2 bids in an auction, $25. So right there on your stuff you're going to see every day, you're talking $20 to $30 for funeral home postcards. The average, the high watermark. Now there's other ones that are average. They don't sell a lot. They made a lot of them and stuff like that. But when you get in there, right here I found, I would say $25 to $30, $35 is what somebody's going. So you want to do your homework on these funeral home postcards. I don't come across them that often. A lot of RPPCs I found have been reproductions I didn't buy and stuff. So you never know. Funeral home postcards. Who knows? Now we're going to get into the show and tell. I asked everybody to send stuff in, and man, did you guys send me stuff. I had more than I thought in there, because I get them in, and I usually reply, hey, I got it, thanks, and stuff like that, and I put it in a bucket I call show and tell new in my email system. And then when I went in there, I said, oh my God, I got like a bunch of these. Some people sent multiple things. I only picked one and a couple things from people, and I saved the other ones for later. But I took 9 things, and I usually reply to the email to the person saying, hey, this will be in this video, like today, it'll be on this video, on this date, the funeral home postcards. So they have a chance, they know I'm responding to them, that I'm going to do it. I use what they got, and they can plan to go check that video out when it hits. So the first one here is about listing methods. And he sent a picture of it, a screen print, so I thought I would use it in show and tell just to show people of things. I've seen this in action figures, all this other stuff. But I went out and I looked at this guy's soles. He's all over the place. He's using these variation listings, as you're going to see here. He didn't sell a lot of postcards. When I see a variation listing like I'm going to show you, I move on. I don't want to go dig through. Now, when I sold on Etsy, I used to make some oak beer tap holders. I made lots of them. I had pecan, oak, and I had a darker stain that I would use on them. And I had 2, 1, whatever. I would use a variation listing because they can pick the color, pecan or oak, or 2-hole or 7-hole, stand and stuff like that. But not like this. This is against eBay policy, I'm pretty sure, but it's not enforced. Because really what this for is, say you got Hanes large t-shirts and you got 4 different colors. They're all large, they're all the same price, they get to pick their color. That's really what it's made to do. But this is something I don't recommend doing. It's not going to get you in search anymore or anything like that. It's just, you ask me, it's a cheap way of doing it. It's a way of getting out of there. I don't know how much work it is involved, but I don't do variations. I just move on. And I think a lot of people do when I looked at the store. But he said, just wondering if you ever seen this method of listing postcards. It's called the variation listing. It seems to be an interesting way to sell the items and has me wondering if it's a smart way to lump low sell-through rate cards like Niagara Falls or Washington, D.C. together as one listing each instead of cluttering the store with many individual listings. The seller seems to do it with many other categories such as record, trade cards, CDs, stamps, etc. Your insight would be appreciated. It's not something I would recommend. It's harder to manage, and actually you're subverting fees from eBay by using one listing and you're putting them all inside there. That's why I think it's not a practice on eBay condones. They don't enforce it, they should, but you can go out there and find these all over the place. They're not as easy as you think it is to manage, because you got to go into it, you got to find it. But with the listing, you'll see it and stuff. But have any of you guys tried this, and are you successful with it? From my point of view, what I've seen out there, I haven't, and I don't recommend them, but I'm not convinced that this is the way to go. So thanks for the submission, Tom. Next ones were some pretty neat postcards. Hey Mark, been meaning to send you these for a bit. And this comes from Dr. Chris, Boldly Grow Pickers, and he's called Fossil something right now. He changed his name, but he's letting us know. To send these for a bit and had to get them out. These are Mexican UV light postcards. Mexican UV light postcards. They have a felt feel to them. I think it's like those Elvis frame pictures you get and you put a black light on them and they glow with the velvet. You see them on the roadsides. Bought them from a great reseller friend, Nadine. Her name is Flipping Roo on eBay and whatnot, so look for Flipping Roo. These are going to stay in my collection for a while. So here's a picture of them without the UV light. Looks pretty cool cards. I like them. And then here's a picture with the light on. They kind of glow. They give you that sense of glowing. He also sent a little video clip I'll play here real quick. It's real fast. So that's what these are, UV lights. I wrote that down, Chris, as a subject I might do next year to fill one of my spots for a video for the week, is UV postcards, glowing postcards and stuff like that. See if I can look into something like that. So thanks, Chris. These are really neat. Next one was kind of interesting I kept, and this comes from Eddie. Hi Mark, I thought you might want to share this with the group. After I scanned this and listed it, postcard he's talking about, I noticed that the front of the postcard was coming away. It was peeling. Started looking to see if it was repairable and found something totally different underneath. So this is the front of the postcard, and this is people standing around a car, and after he started peeling away, this is what he found. He found a Bugatti car underneath it, so they stuck another postcard picture on top of a postcard. I've heard of that with the real photo postcards, where they'll do it modernly and they'll stick it on an older postcard with a real photo back and stuff. But interesting. So when you get those postcards, they might be stamped on. You can usually tell by the plies how thick it is. But that was interesting. Thanks, Eddie, for sharing. Next one, I had a conversation with John. We went back and forth a little bit. He's a long-time seller. He just got an Epson scanner. He was using this flatbed for a long time, and he got a 580 or an Epson scanner, and he got my settings from Ko-Fi, and he said they worked out real well. I was glad to hear that. When we got back and forth, I asked him, well, he sent me some stuff that he sold, because he's into ephemera, and he's getting into postcards and stuff, and he sent me a few things, and approved me to show it on the video. But he said, so glad that you found the postcards and sale prices interesting. That's what we talked about. I should mention that I found all these cards in a regular postcard album, purchases from local estate sales and auctions. I never bought a single card online. So he gets them all locally. But here's a couple of them. These first ones here are from Kybers. I'll put it down here, California Real Photo Postcards. Really nice looking photos. Postcards, these are the types of things he deals with. And they're posted. Really nice. Then he sent this Figaro Disneyland squeaker card. Remember what those are? They did a video about squeaker cards. They have a little squeaker and you press it and it squeaks. This is a Disneyland squeaker. That probably went for a pretty good penny. Next one he gets in, like I said, he does all their ephemera. This is a 1909 UCV Confederate Veterans Memphis reunion photo postcard. So a real photo postcard. Identified soldiers, I guess the writing on the back identified them. He sold that in June of 2023 for $175. That was a good deal. But that's a postcard, and it has the people on there and stuff. A little bit of homework, got him $175. Thanks, John, for sending those. And I got a couple other things in my bucket from you that I'll use the next time on Show and Tell. Now, this one came from Carrie. Hi, Mark. After watching your video on airports, I looked through the topic of airports from an auction I won that consisted of an antique dealer's postcard inventory. The first postcard was found on Worth Point, and the second card I have from her inventory. I remember you said some airports don't even have runways. Yeah, that one in Scotland, they land on a beach. Well, this was certainly one of those that had a grassy field for landing and takeoff. Would be neat if you could get the buyer with one other one showing the field and tractor. Always look forward to your videos. Carrie. Thanks, Carrie. Look at this. This is an airport, and it says airport, and it looks like it's in Michigan. And there's the tractor I think they use to cut the grass or they pull planes with or whatever. And then the next one here is the plane taking off. Those are neat finds. They should do well. If you can, especially if it says airport there and it's got that tractor and they're working, there's a car behind there and there's two guys nailed down a place, and that one also is the same one. Should do well with those. I wouldn't price them low. Thanks, Carrie. This came from One Old Buffalo. He's on YouTube. He's Cyberdan 1000. One Old Buffalo. He said, here's one. These are not mine. A Facebook vintage postcard group member asked about them. Aluminum postcards. Looks like they had to be mailed in an envelope. Now I've seen these in pictures. I've never had one, but I've never seen the envelope. This is something new. What I was told about these is they stopped doing them because the post carriers were cutting themselves in between their fingers and stuff on the aluminum when they stuck their hand in the bag. So maybe that's why they put the envelope. But it makes sense now seeing the envelope, because how would you cancel on a piece of shiny metal? They can cancel on the envelope. But if you see these, I have never come across them. I've looked for them and stuff like that when I see novelty stuff, but they're always newer ones or something someone tried to do. But the older ones I think would be pretty good. I haven't looked them up on Sell-Through Rate or the pricing of them, but these are really cool. It says postal card. I'm not for sure the dates when these were done. I know they're early. They're older. And they're But look at that, it's got the envelope and the postcard. That would be great. I'd probably keep that for my collection. So, thanks, Dan. And then this next one came from Adam. My name is Adam, and I'm a postcard reseller from the UK. I've only been active for 6 months, but it's because of your videos that I have taken a plunge in a niche. Thanks, Adam. There are very few UK YouTubers that deal in postcards or that make content, but following your advice, I have adapted your best practices to the UK market with some success. It's not all my best practices, it's stuff I accumulated from other people too, doing this channel and watching things. So it's a montage of all different things, but thanks, Adam. I currently only have 4,000 cards listed across 2 sites, but I average around 3 to 4 sales a day, with my best sale day being 19 in a single day. You're not doing bad, you're moving, it's going. Keep tracking it, and keep listing, and you should get more. Start looking for good cards that sell and stuff like that. Get a variety and quantity. It depends on what level you're selling. The reason for my contact is to firstly thank you for your content and also show you a card I thought you may be interested. Granddad's Postcards, Older Things. It's a wooden postcard from, not for sure when it's from, of a squirrel with an acorn from, I think, Yosemite National Park. These were mass produced and engraved and stuff like that, and I've seen a lot of these. I did a video on wooden postcards, but these are all, the ones you want to look for the most are the older with color on them, is what I find that sell better. But these are really neat postcards. Just think people wrote on the wood and they sent those. Nowadays, you'd have to send this Ground and Vantage probably. I'm not for sure if you could send these. But it's neat that they showed up over in the UK, Yosemite National Park. But good luck at them and keep in touch. If you need anything, let us know. Next one is from Three Wheeler. He comments a lot, long time viewer of the channel, and he sent this to me. It's a Happy New Year with the dates, one of those date cards for the new year. See a lot of those out there. And I'm sitting there, okay, what's so special about this, Three? Then he wrote, I looked at his notes, it says, the most postmarked postcard ever seen so far. This thing's got 4 postmarks on the back, is what he's talking about. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 5 postmarks on the back. Why? I'm with him, why? You know, I've seen a lot of postmarks on cards, but I never really called it out like he did. There's 5 postmarks on there. There's 1 on the left, 1 in between the 2, 3, 4, 5. There might be another one on it, or is that embossed? Oh, that's the 0 on the front. Yeah, there's 5 of them. Interesting. It's from 1908 is when that one on the stamp was done. Thanks, Three. I got through them all. I think I'm caught up pretty much with everything that everybody sent, but these are the things I'm looking for just to show people different things and different comments from people. So if you find things, just send it to contact@SMPostcards.com. Some of the stuff I use, some I might not. If you get a message from me, I'll let you know what video and what date that it's scheduled for. I'm usually out sometimes 10 to 12 weeks out on videos when I'm working on them and stuff like that, getting them scheduled. So I'm pretty far ahead, and so don't be concerned if I haven't got back to you. It's just some of the stuff I don't use or I use, but most of the time I will use it if you send it. And I got about 3 or 4 things in there again, and this went pretty quick, so I'll probably, if I get more, I'll get in there. But thanks again for participating. I got 6 viewer comments to go through. These will go pretty quick. These comments come from YouTube, eBay, email. If you send something in eBay, I might stop replying to stuff in eBay. I replied to someone the other day, and eBay sent me a message, you can't say that. I thought I was being pretty good, but they caught it. So please don't send me a message about the channel and stuff in eBay. Send it in a comment in YouTube or an email at contact@SMPostcards.com. So the first one's from Dan Sweeps. I did a Gettysburg video about Gettysburg postcards. You must visit Gettysburg. I live a couple hours from there, and I visit often. It's just like Williamsburg. I would love to get there. I'm in Illinois. Don't know if I'll ever make it there, but if I ever do, I know I drove by and I've done work around there on the East Coast with telecommunications and stuff like that. Valley Forge and all those other places up and down the East Coast, but I never had time to stop, and I would love to get there and do it. So glad that you live close to it. Thanks, Dan. And next one comes from Sue Smith. He's talking about coupons here. I find it really annoying when I buy something and immediately I get a coupon for the next purchase. I just delete it. I want to block them if I can figure out how, so I do not buy from them again. He's getting coupon spammed, and he doesn't like it. So everybody has their little things that they don't like, and so he buys something and all of a sudden he gets a coupon for the next thing. It's pretty much how it works marketing wise. They're just sending it out trying to get another sale. They're going to keep pushing, and that's part of being a seller. Being a buyer, it can be a buyer fatigue. You're getting all this stuff all the time. I've read lately some things about where people do an end and relist. Buyers are banned, are complaining to them and stuff, because every time they do an end and relist, in their saved searches, they're getting the same item every month, every 2 weeks. They're getting the same item back in there, and people just end up blocking those people or changing their search or whatever, because they're seeing the same postcards. There's nothing new. So they're getting what they call buyer fatigue, is what I call it. Same with YouTube. If you put up a 10-minute video every day or an hour video every day, a lot of people think on YouTube if you do a video a day you're going to get more. Yeah, you're going to gain a little bit, but after a while I think there's viewer fatigue as well on there. You just want to give them a little taste and then do a bigger one is what I do. And plus with my time, I don't want to, there's no way I could do 2-3 videos a week the way I do them. Now the shorts and stuff, the clips from these videos that you're seeing every day, those are pretty easy to do. There's a program that pulls those out and stuff like that, but that's helped the channel a lot. People have asked for those shorts on their phone, and so I found a way to do it without a lot of work. It does take a little bit of time, but not that hard. But he doesn't like it when they're sending coupons, so I think it's buyer fatigue is really what's happening. I know someone commented and said this is what they do, this is part of marketing. So everybody has their quirks about things, but as I get older, those little things doesn't bother me as much as they used to. I just go on my way, you know. So if I get emails from people about things, I can block them, whatever. It's just delete. I don't even reply. But thanks for the comment and opinion. But I think end and relist is causing some issues out there. I'm starting to see more and more about people seeing the same card and stuff. So might want to keep that in mind. Thanks, Suze. Then Amy. I consider the price of shipping and add it to the price of card and then offer free shipping. As a new postcard seller, I really put a lot of angst in that direction and that decision. It's so gimmicky to me to offer shipping that it's not really free, but I don't know. I may consider the decision. Obviously, I have my doubts. It's not deceptive. People need to think. If they see a $5 postcard free shipping, the seller isn't sending it to you free. It just makes it so the person doesn't think. I do free shipping. It's the way I started out. It's easy for me, and the next comment here will probably say what I would say about it and stuff. But as a business person, you can make any decision you want. If you don't feel good about it, that's fine, but you need to know what your buyers are thinking. Not what you think about it, but what the buyers are. Are you getting any complaints for it? Is anybody complaining? If not, then I wouldn't worry about it. People look so deep into things, it ruins really what they're trying to do. So do something, stick with it for a while, and if you want to know what the buyers are thinking, not what other sellers and stuff are thinking, what the buyers are telling you. And if your sales are there, it's working, good there. I have never had anybody come in and say that it's a gimmick or anything like that on my free shipping. It's just part of it. It's all figured in the price. Everybody knows it. They just don't want to think. They just want free shipping. Thanks. The Rebel Depot. I switched to free shipping on all my eBay listings several years ago, so there is no combined shipping to worry about refunding. Exactly. I sell a postcard, $4.75. I got 68 cents on it in shipping. It's added into the price. I sell 2 postcards. I got 2 68 cents added into the price of those cards, right? But I only put it in 1 envelope. I make 68 cents. I sell 3 postcards. I got 3 times 68 cents into those 3 postcards for shipping. It's added into the price. I use 168 cents. I made $1.40 or something. That's where free shipping helps me down the way. No one ever asked me to refund 68 cents or $1 or whatever combined shipping. I have volume discounts also. If you buy 4 or more cards or 3 or more cards, you get a volume discount, and I tell people we have volume discounts. We don't refund shipping. I haven't had that question, I don't think, in a long time about like Rebel here said. I was spending too much time answering questions about combined shipping rates, having to give credits if people bought multiple items but paid separately, etc. But much more streamlined to have shipping factor in the price and have one less thing to worry about. Exactly, your time is worth more than that postcard. And I'm sure he's not getting complaints from buyers on there. You just got to make sure you're putting what you paid for the card, your envelope, cost of stamp there, and whatever it is, and you need to factor some time in there, but you can't say I make $15 an hour and I'm going to put $7 on every card because that's what I make, when the market is only selling them for $4 to $5. You're going to price yourself out of the market, your sales go down, your profit goes down, the whole works. So there's so many variables you have to learn on there about it, but it's not hard. It's pretty simple. You set a minimum price that you'll sell a postcard for, and then if you want to comp it, you go out and see if it's above there. If it's below there, you just stay at your minimum price. That's what you need. If it sells, it sells. You saw today, there's so many cards that I sold from 2 years ago. They're just sitting up there in a box. It's not causing me any angst. I probably paid a penny or 2 cents for these cards. Don't look too deep into it. Just do what you do. I'm not saying free shipping is the right way. I'm not saying it's not. It's just what people want to do. You have the choice to do whatever you want to do. Thanks, bro. Then Gina said, I totally agree. Out of several hundred postcards sent over the last 14 months, only 2 eBay standard envelopes never arrived. This was about my monthly, beginning of the month, I do an analysis from the month before of 100 random mailings. I just go through my paid and ship, and I pick 100 mailings that use the eBay standard envelope, and I look for origin scan, destination scan, out for delivery and delivered, and how many no scans and stuff like that, and I track the state they went to too to see what the percentage is. If they stay over 90%, it doesn't seem like we did that much work, but if it goes below 90%, we start getting where's my postcard messages. So she's talking about that, and she's, out of the several hundred postcards sent over the last 14 months, only 2 never arrived. And you can get your money back. If it's lost or damaged, and you use eBay standard envelope, you can get your money back. You just need eBay standard insurance to get that. You put it in after 30 days and before 90, and you get all the money back. So there's a lot of pluses to it. In both cases, the tracking information indicates the cards must have been on a grand tour in the U.S. Yeah, I think they're having issues this year. I read an article on the news. You can't really take the news to heart sometimes. If I hear something 3 times and it's the same thing, then I consider there's truth to it. But when you see all these different things, like it's like politics this year and stuff, you hear all this stuff, it's just saber rattling. But this one, from a good source, said they're still working with the employees, training, and the way they're doing the trucks now and stuff. There's a lot of downtime and stuff like that. So I think there's still issues at the post office. Will be for a while. We just need to manage it. Not much control we have. We just got to have processes in place to deal with them. And they will run all over the place. But yeah, check that video out. I do on every month. It'll give you an idea about eBay standard envelope, and I talk about any changes I see with that. Thanks, Gina. Then the last one, Tracy Nook. I just filled my first eBay standard envelope claim, call it a PIP claim, on eBay standard envelope, and received my money back. It was my first lost eBay standard envelope that someone asked for a refund. It wasn't that hard to file the claim. The hard part was remembering how to do the screenshots. Yeah, I go over it in that video on how to do it, and it's really important that they wanted like a PDF or something. I can't remember. I got a couple coming up. I got to remember how to do it. But screenshots, there's a thing on Windows PCs called snipping tool. You can pin it to your taskbar, and it'll help you take the screenshots. It's called snipping tool, is what it's on there. Thanks for your video on how to file a claim. Yeah, not much has changed since I did that video that I know of and stuff, and it's worked. So remember, it's got to be $20 and under for each item, and the whole order can't be over $50. And each eBay standard envelope tracking number is a separate claim. I tried to put one in one time. I wanted to see if it knew the date, or how did they know the date. There's something algorithm with that ESU number that they assign for eBay standard envelope, that they know that there's what date it was. It won't allow you to put it in. I'll file the claim, and it'll come back and say it's too early or too late or stuff like that. So there's something with that. There's some algorithm they can use in that number. But thanks everybody for participating in comments. The show and tell, it's growing. The channel's growing nice and steadily. I'm not looking to be the biggest YouTuber in the world. I'm looking for a place with like-minded people to learn about stuff. Different opinions here, different opinions there. I just show you what I do, and so far it's worked for me. I'm not looking to be the biggest seller, the best seller, whatever. The best average seller on eBay with the best average profits I can get, and stuff like that. But if you got questions, there's a lot of people in here that can answer them. It's a neat hobby, reselling postcards. Make a little bit of money. There can be more money than you think in it, because you can buy these cards pretty cheap, and collectors will get them. It's a neat hobby. Check those funeral home postcards. If you got any good ones, send them in the show and tell. I would love to see some really high-priced funeral home cards that we would think would be average. Hope it changes some people's minds about that. Here's some more fish. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.